All right, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the AI Stockpile podcast. My name is Francisco. Going around the table, we have Guillaume, and our boy Juan. Today we're going to be talking about issue 2 of the Stockpile comic, which will be coming out next week with the AI Club Rush, which will be on Wednesday at 11:30 until 1 p.m. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? You guys have any comments?
Well, I'm definitely excited for the second issue to come out. I'm also just very excited that people are supporting us as much as they are. We have not just students behind us, but faculty and staff. We have a great advisor, Frankie Mendez. We also have a show coming up pretty soon that she's putting together. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And I think this issue really came together very well. I feel this issue is also the strongest in storytelling. I think pretty much everyone has an actual story this time.
Yes,
Instead of just a series of events.
Yeah, that's like pretty true because like on her, I just read this issue and like we have a really tight like storylines and even like drawings and stuff like become way improved like when you compare the issue 1 to the issue 2, and I'm really positive for this quarter, and I'm just excited to become week 3 already. So what about you, Glenn? What do you think?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the new comic to see everybody's work. I like the implementation of the comic book covers to see them in color. It really does spice up a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, that was a good choice to put them in color this time around. I know you guys have been wanting to have the whole issue in color, but
Yes,
printing doesn't allow us to
Printing
do that too
costs.
much.
Printing costs, yeah.
And so saw today on how it is to get money.
Yep, for like
Yeah,
it
we
is
got
it is to
the
get
budget
money.
meeting.
Yeah, the
So-
budget meeting, and like we have to have our own like account, like instead of like personal, yeah. Stuff like that.
That's all behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
we'll
all behind the
talk
scenes
too much
stuff.
Plus, I think the black and white tinge to it, like how it's all black and white, really does give it a little bit of character that makes it unique as a comic.
Yeah, especially for a lot of the
Yeah.
more manga-based art styles that we have.
Yeah.
Manga is normally done traditionally in black and white, so it kind of fits more with those, with those styles as well.
Yeah.
As for the whole story part, I know for a fact that not all of them have a set storyline because mine doesn't. I know because Erica hammered me for it. It wasn't meant to have a storyline, and that kind of upset her when she was going through editing. It made editing hell for her. And because mine is just a fight scene. So, for the most part, reading through them, there were really a lot of nice storylines that were being started in this issue. Definitely, leaving us for cliffhangers for the next issue, especially Jonah's.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of cliffhangers. Even
Yeah.
mine have a cliffhangers.
Mine too.
Mine like
I particularly liked Pablo's story because it was so simple but so effective because it had a beginning and a middle and an end. And it was only 3 pages. And it was such a simple story. It was a guy sitting down at a bar drinking juice or whatever, and then he sees the sign and he's like, oh, hey, what's that sign all about? He says, oh, well, this allows you to get like parts for your robot or whatever. And it's okay, great. He pays the guy and leaves. And that's so simple and it seems almost uninteresting. But if you look at it, I mean, he managed to pull off a story in 3 pages. That's awesome.
Yeah.
and,
I mean,
whoops.
Give us a second,
Give
folks.
us a second, folks. We're
We have
just
an important
gonna-
phone call.
No, it's not. It's not really an important phone call.
it was kind of important, but it can wait.
Popular guy gets all the
Speaking
calls.
of I kind of really wish that John is here with us, but he's not here today. But people were saying about this entire school is saying about we all love his cover. And we're gonna post it on Instagram. We're gonna but use that page as the leading work for the AI for the future, something like that. And
Yeah.
hope it go viral because he is super talented.
Yeah, it was really
And I
great, and
really-
he does a lot of he posts a lot of his work on Instagram. He doesn't have a huge following, but he has his steps to doing that.
He has
I
a
believe,
really
on Instagram.
decent works, and I approve that.
And
Yeah, I'd like to
really-
thank Jeff for doing that. He's actually the head of social media for the school, AIFL. And I talked to him, and he was all about it. And what he's going to do for Institute of Fort Lauderdale, on all of our social media, which includes Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. He's going to post the cover of our book, and the cover features the artwork of Jonah, right? Bennell. So that's awesome. So great job to John, and thank you, Jeff.
Jonah's definitely going to get a huge spike in followers after that. Hopefully. We'll see.
Of course.
But yeah, it's, you know, this whole issue really, like, more so than just storytelling. We have a copy of the issue here. It's really about the artwork as well, because again, with the exception of mine, which is just the logo, everyone really, you know, shows their great artwork on the cover. The first cover being shown is Dustin's for Division 7 Alien Defense Force, and it's really nice. You know, it seems kind of cliche because, you know, it's a bunch of anime characters falling from the sky, so you've seen it once, you've seen it a million times, but the way he pulls it off and the way he, you know, the way it's composed is very unique, and it kind of exemplifies each character and their personality. You have the two Jokers in the back, the one, you know, goofy character who isn't human falling in the most ridiculous pose, and then you have the one straight man character with a straight face. So it kind of, you know, sells what the story is supposed to be all about.
You know, for the longest time, I thought that was a hat. Like a colored thing.
Yeah, I thought that was like a bandana or something.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We actually have Dustin here right now, and he doesn't
Dustin,
want to
great work, Dustin.
He doesn't want to speak too much.
Dustin is number one in the cover. And also, his work is featured on our flyer advertising the club. So if you see in the hallways, that's Dustin's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dustin.
I love the little.
And you know why I put you
footnotes.
guys first, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys always submit on time.
Yeah.
That's
We
really
have-
the only reason.
We scramble those, like, the last 2 weeks before the comics due, we start scrambling to get everything done on time, because a lot of the time, like, we'll work on it and then we'll get homework, and then by the time week 8 comes, we'll only have line art done, and we won't even have our speech bubbles placed properly.
No shit, huh?
So we start scrambling in those last 3 weeks.
You
But
might
we
want
always get it done
to.
on time.
have like anything, you know, film majors that listen to us. We might want to do a documentary on these guys on how they make their comic books, because that sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I would definitely
Just for
watch
last
that.
week.
I would
Yeah,
definitely
Yeah.
watch
That'll
that.
be really good.
Camille's back.
Camille's back.
Yay,
Do
Camille.
you want to say hi to the podcast? No.
No, Camille's not here.
She's
actually.
like too cool.
Camille's she's come and gone.
Yes.
Come on. All right.
So, all right.
Then we have next cover is actually mine. I'm second in the comic book, and it's the Aspire Chronicles logo. It's a really nice logo, but that's really all that's there.
Hey, I like your
last
third
flare.
issue cover.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not out yet. It's gonna be for
Yeah.
next quarter, but I saw it on Instagram. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
enjoy-
reused the same logo, but I added actual character art to it and a background.
That's a bird, right?
Yeah.
It kind of looks like the Twitter logo a little bit.
No, it doesn't.
Nah,
It's
it's
the
just the same
color.
color. It's actually based more on. It's actually more inspired by the logo of the middle school I went to.
Oh.
Not even just the middle school, but the whole organization that middle school represents. 'Cause it's a charter middle school that's run by a organization called Aspira. So, you know, Aspira, Aspire, that kind of thing. You know.
So you were inspired by the organization that was running your middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
What was your middle school?
Aspira Ram.
Spira.
Mm-hmm.
Division 7.
So, you know, the next cover we actually have coming up is Jonah's cover, which is also technically featured twice in the comic. It's featured once on the cover of the actual book, and then as the cover to his story. Jonah's art is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. You know, it's kind of a manga. It's kind of a manga style, but it's also very fluid. It's not as angular as a lot of manga styles are.
It was awesome about Jonah's work is the backgrounds. I mean, he has a lot of attention to detail back there. It was, you know, some self-included. A lot of our works was lacking, and it was just awesome that he just banged that out. So
Yeah.
The
great
thing is,
job.
Jonah's really talented as well, because like he doesn't only use Photoshop. He'll go into Sketchbook Pro and he'll do his background in Sketchbook Pro with the perspective tool.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
telling me that.
Sketchbook
Matter of
Pro,
fact, he was
yeah.
showing me Sketchbook Pro a little bit.
He's
And,
pretty
uh,
outgoing.
He's
Yeah,
really
you get that
outgoing.
perfect smooth.
And the thing is,
background.
like Jonah's artwork is so smooth because he doesn't draw it out. Like most of us draw, he paints.
He paints.
It's digital painting. It's not just a digital
is.
drawing. It's not like mine where it's drawn digitally in Photoshop. He paints.
Is that tree digitally painted?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's digitally
Beautiful.
painted.
And plus, I also love the simplicity of the shape and design of the characters. Like I know I said that before, but it really does feel nice. It feels clean.
It's all about flow with Jonah.
It is really clean, and like the especially the line work
Yeah.
You know, when you.
It kind of looks like a pop art. A little
Yeah.
bit. Like
I love.
and
I'm sorry not to interrupt you. But I just
that's
love when you turn to this page, how he's so excited about the eye patch. He's like, now I could be just like all of my favorite people who wear eye patches.
Which
which
he
is
has
like-
two characters shown there. One
Like,
that's inspired by Samuel L. Jackson, another one's inspired by Solid Snake. So
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Then Nick Fury and so. Alright.
next up is Pablo, which Pablo, you know, his art is actually a lot of people see his art and they fall in love with his art right away because his style is so unique that it uses anime face proportions, but body proportions that are reminiscent of a lot of American comics.
I feel like a lot.
So
of
it's like a true hybrid.
You guys are familiar with Humberto Ramos?
I've heard the name.
He's an American comic book artist, probably from like the early 2000s, and he's very manga inspired. But his, like you said, his body work, it reminds me a lot of Humberto Ramos. So yeah, definitely check him out. I love his use of perspective. It's so exaggerated, so freaking cool.
Is it
look
is
at
it like a
this.
zooming in like too much and then
It's almost like a fisheye effect.
he do it with a fish eye.
I kind of feel like that. A lot of people here are inspired by manga and anime.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But those of us who actually decide to draw based on it in the comics, you know,
Well-
there's only really three of us.
Well,
You know?
well, like even nowadays, like even when you see the new 52, like and like the late like Justice League comic books, like we can see the figures from like the animes and manga, like
Yeah.
borrow from the resources. Even when you see the DC, there's a new there's the new Justice League and the Batman series that it kind of remind me of anime.
Yeah.
Of course.
But Pablo's work is always really interesting, and his main character is a complete goofball, and it's hilarious. Just his design is goofy, but he's like he's a traveling genius. You know, it's that kind of thing that kind of like really sells Pablo's story.
Here's my personal favorites
And this
This one called Blood Money.
is Amanda
by Trey Stevens.
Trey Stevens. Yeah.
So it's not even continuation of her last work, which was Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday was awesome too.
Sunday was great.
I was actually really looking forward to seeing a continuation of Sunday, but I like the direction she's heading with this. It's was it werewolves versus vampires, kind of cliche, but she does it from a very interesting, like realistic approach emotionally. Like
Yeah.
I think you really feel it when this vampire puts the gun to the back of this girl's head, who's a werewolf.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that style before in an animated movie.
This style?
It feels very familiar somehow.
It's kind of reminiscent of something I saw in the '90s. I can't remember the name of it, but like something with fairies in the woods,
Yeah.
kind of
It
thing.
kind of reminds me of the art style that was taken to produce Lilo and Stitch somehow.
I can kind
a
of
little
see
bit
it,
because
but
of
the
the
proportions are a lot different though.
Yeah.
Because Lilo and Stitch deals more with it's more of a kawaii style, which is kind of like body proportions are a lot bigger. Here the heads are very big because the heads are what are exaggerated.
Lilo and
Kawaii
Stitch,
style.
like combined with Berserk.
It's like a Saturday morning cartoon feel. Yeah,
Yeah.
mixed with something a
Oh,
little bit more
look.
serious.
This actually may be a continuation of this is a continuation of Sunday because that's the character from the last panel of Sunday.
Oh,
another cliffhanger.
Very good. You're right. So you know what it is? I know now. I remember. This all takes place in the same universe. She was telling me about this, and
It's the
she's
same-
doing like little
Yeah, she's
like
doing,
side stories of her main story.
It's similar to
Yeah.
me in with Aspire Chronicles, where Aspire Chronicles is just a side story of what's happening in the main storyline.
awesome.
You know,
Which
we
makes sense because we only got 6 pages.
We only got 6 pages, so
yeah.
it's like why put why try to fit a whole chapter in 6 pages when you can just do something that's like offshoot, use it to practice. Really, this comic is for exposure more than above all else.
Yeah, absolutely. And it going into Lord Comics is
Oh,
really big for
Guillaume,
you
this is
guys.
yours.
Yeah.
Oh,
Evotarians.
Yeah. I love your cover, by the way.
Oh, I'm really glad you like it.
I love your use of color.
Although,
Well, do you want to talk about yours?
Sure.
If you want.
Oh yeah, we actually have the artist
Yeah,
here. So
we
go
already
for it,
we
Gil.
have the artist himself.
hi. Yeah. Yeah, man. Looking back on the cover that I did, seeing it printed, it feels a little bit different than looking on it on a screen.
We have another phone call, folks.
Now
Excuse us.
fine for phone call.
Actually, it's Gilliam's phone too, so that sucks because he wasn't talking.
Yeah, like I really like his cover. and you know the color he used on a cover, like especially that suit that remind me of more of like a Section 8 and a little bit of like, you know, science fiction for fantasy on it.
Yeah.
I mean, Gillum, he's really good at you know, the animalistic creatures turn into human shapes.
I
That's
like
really great.
your approach on the head. It's like you took an opposite approach. Where instead of using people when they exaggerate the head and make it larger, you made the head smaller. But it really works because, like So said, these are anamorphic. So
Yeah, the anamorphics.
I mean,
yeah.
so that
There's-
works because usually the head of, say, like a cheetah or something is a lot smaller than its body. So
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome.
there's a reason for that. It's because since that these beings are an amalgamation between human and animal, like
Use a lot of big
in order
words here.
in order to compensate for their muzzle, like you were to take
anamorphic. Sorry.
Compensate.
in order to compensate for the size of their beaks or muzzles, like for a bird's head or whatever, I had to make it smaller.
You have to size down the heads so that the rest of the head body
and
the rest of
also
the body
there
makes
was
sense.
and also the stylization was a little bit influenced by Robert Valley, the guy who did the art style for Tron Uprising.
That makes sense.
Oh,
Now, I have a
This is
question,
very
though.
reminiscent of Tron. So,
And-
yeah.
Tron Uprising.
Remember I was telling you before, it kind of reminded me of like a 1980s feel to the artwork.
Yeah,
Like
the
I was
1980s
thinking more
feel.
like 1980s Transformers in a way, or Voltron.
You know, you know what? This is
Tron
I
like,
do
sense.
I do have one question though for your character designs.
Yes.
How much inspiration do you get from Thundercats?
Thundercats. Yes,
Practically none.
Thundercats.
Really?
That's
Really?
what it is.
I never really thought of Thundercats.
Another
until-
1980s cartoon.
I mean, here
1980s
were the things that really inspired me to make the Evos.
Uh-huh.
It was Transformers, giving it an alien feel with cyborgs and stuff. Avatar, the blue people. Tron, and in recent years, Star Wars, Pacific Rim.
I can see the Star Wars with the glowing swords.
Yeah, because I absolutely.
I like how you
love-
kept originality though. You made it a scimitar instead of just a regular saber.
Yeah, I
You see,
didn't.
that's
I didn't
the
want it to look like it was a
lightsaber.
rip-off of a lightsaber, and also there's a bit of a mechanical difference between the two. That is not actual laser. That's a heat blade. It's
Oh, okay, I
glowing
get you.
super.
Oh, okay.
It's glowing super hot,
I get you.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
but, it's, but it
because
can
Star
still
Wars had the
slice
laser
off
blade.
something and still cauterize the wound.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
I
same
take
one.
a similar approach to Samurai Punk with the liquid sword. It's
Liquid
actually
sword.
not a lightsaber. It's you know X-Men.
Yeah.
You know Cyclops Optic Blast. It's
Yeah.
the same kind of material. It's a light, but it's a concussive force. So basically, it's like a solid light.
A solid
It's a
light.
solid
Right.
light.
Erica's editor note here kills me. Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not Batman.
It's
but
like-
I
it's like-
That's
guess-
basically the basic silhouette for most of the main characters.
Well, yeah, they have ears at the top of their head.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay, it's the president himself. His
Nuns versus
his work.
witches.
Yeah, nuns versus witches.
Morana's deception.
And what do you have?
We're gonna make
Press?
a movie out of this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, all right. My inspiration for this was okay. In our geek culture, every once in a while you see this phenomenon.
Oh, he has a
like-
dissertation page. Nice.
Sokovia.
where you see like, okay, we're gonna put cowboys versus aliens,
You're
or
right.
we're gonna put ninjas versus, I don't know, what was it?
Knights.
No, it wasn't knights. It was pirates.
Pirates,
Right?
okay.
Doesn't make any sense at all. So I was thinking to myself, why do they do that sometimes? Right? It seems very cheap. I was like, okay, what they're doing is something kind of cheap. They're taking one cool thing and versus it against another cool thing.
But
So-
are nuns cool though? Do we consider nuns a cool thing?
And like, it's really hard
warrior
to relate.
nuns are
you know?
cool.
Okay. Okay.
It depends
But,
on how
uh,
you look at a nun.
So I was
True.
like, well, what if I took that kind of idea though, right, versus just two things together?
Isn't one
and try to
decapitating
make
someone?
Try to make it cool.
Where?
Yes, right there.
That's great.
Talk
So-
about a clean kill, like nothing's spilling out.
So I wanted to approach it, in that kind of same kind of tongue-in-cheek, kind of cheesy way of storytelling, but I wanted to also add depth to it. So
Okay,
that was my goal.
that's great.
Yeah.
You should make it like a Kill Bill, kind of like a Quentin Tarantino fantasy.
So it is a bit gory.
Yeah.
Second
like,
issue gets a
just
little
like
bit more gory. But
you know, like Quentin Tarantino, like his really famous film Kill Bill.
oh yeah.
That kind of remind me of it. You know, like it's the bride, and she look out for the revenge.
I've always been a fan of strong female characters. So,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
can tell.
That's why all of your main characters are female in this issue. It's great.
Um,
This is really good though.
The main character is actually based on a student who I'm actually hoping to get in here for an interview too. Tatiana. She's a fashion design major. I don't know if you guys have seen the hallway, but you recognize the braid.
Oh, the Tatiana, yeah.
Yeah. That's actually Amanda Muniz, the main
Oh,
villain.
the Amanda.
Yeah.
Darkness girl. They got
Edge,
Darkness.
just all the edge,
yeah.
all of the edge.
And kind of like what the Samurai Punk is you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of me.
So yeah, Samurai Punk is another story of Juan, and yeah, you should check it out in
Look who's next.
Lauderdale Comic.
Lauderdale Comics.
Okay, so I see all of this digital painting.
No, that's actually not digital.
Is it digital or is it traditional?
Oh, there's all digital painting. Oh, as you
No,
guys.
that's acrylic. I remember you painting.
Yeah,
this in
yeah.
class.
That's the cover is acrylic. Cover is acrylic, and the entire story is like based on like.
I like this.
painted on
Rated
the
M.
Photoshop.
Rated M. So if you're under 18, you can't read this.
If you're under
If you're
18,
too
you
young
can't
to attend a school, you can't read this.
Yeah, if you can't.
Actually,
you can't
we've
attend
had
school,
since we were 17.
So
Oh,
like
really? Oh, yeah, that's true.
People graduate high school early. Come here.
15, 16 years old.
So
that's
yeah,
very true.
just like watch out your children's and your like grandmothers in case, because I don't want them to die out of a heart attack.
This soul
anyway.
guy, he's a motherfucker.
This is the
That
Achilles.
escalated quickly.
As you know,
Sorry.
I like
Sorry.
there's a
That's
story
okay.
that I
It's a running gag.
this is a story that I've been developing since like two or like a past year, and this is about like the protagonist is from a different time, like from the present, like now in like 2000 like in the early 21st century.
Yeah.
And like as you can see, like the like overall view is from his eye view, like he's like restoring his memories from like from the age 1 to like until he's like 24.
Yeah.
So
I
like
see. It's really powerful.
Yeah, this is like going through like a past memories, like like if you, as you can see in the movies, like we always have like flashbacks and stuff like that, and that
Not to
kind of
interrupt
like
you, that's one thing I love about your work is
Yeah.
very cinematic.
Yeah, it's very
It makes me
cinematic.
think. I'm trying to remember which comic is reminiscent of at least the panel set. It was I think it was a Batman comic. Where it was, I can't remember, but it was like it gives that feel, it gives it a more powerful feel as well.
So like as you can see in the each panel's
And
like
just the different use of different
Yeah.
angles within the same scene. All these
Yeah.
different shots is really cool.
yeah,
It's kind of like a storyboard.
Yeah.
because it's like like I take it from the storyboard, and then let's say like I kind of like watch movies a lot, so like I really wanted to bring this movie perspective with the comic book at the same time. And like like most of my panels, like you will see like like most of
This is
the
straight up a sex
shots
scene.
are- yeah.
And then
Yeah.
someone coming to kill them.
yeah, so
Yeah.
someone coming to kill them. That is like
That is the worst way to die, bro. Come on.
Look, you see this right here, this panel? Awesome.
Yeah.
It's just, right there from the guy's
It's like,
perspective, laying in
No,
bed.
no, look at this.
Damn.
Look at this. Look at this. Huh? Yeah. Oh, that's it right there. Bam.
Yeah, I mean,
Did you change this, by the way, in the edit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I changed a little words.
Language barrier.
They're like little language barrier around me. Like
That's
I like
supposed to say punch.
I
Yeah.
put like a little more words than any other comics they used to. Like I like explaining a little more. So yeah, and the storyline
did
is
you
all
shorten
about
this?
yeah.
You did, okay, cool.
Like the storyline is all about like he just recalling his memory, and now he just woke up and like
Next to his lover, apparently.
Yeah. Next to his lover, like next to the girl he fucked like 75 years ago. Yeah,
Motherfucker.
that's 75 years ago. So
So the last thing they remember is like having sex and then getting
yeah,
fucked up.
getting fucked up. Like it was 75 years ago, because I really want this thing to like go into the future. Because in the future you can do so many things with it. You can do
So
space
how many
battles.
pages did you
You
do,
can
bro?
do like like superheroes face space.
I was told we were limited to 4.
So cheated.
Yo, yeah.
And the only reason I allowed it because so's the money.
Yeah.
Well,
You
that's
took
an-
advantage of your position, learning from Donald Trump.
Yeah, I'm going for Trump position. So yeah, like if you want to check out, that's so some Achilles initiation.
This is double
that's
the
like
pages. Oh my god.
I know. I know.
Pages.
I said, so what do you want me to do about this? He said, I'm paying for the printing. So I said, okay, so.
Yeah. I'm paying for it.
All right, guys. So we're gonna have to start wrapping this up. Thank you so much for joining us today. I just want to say before we wrap up that we're gonna try to definitely do some interviews this quarter. I talked about a little bit last quarter. Two people that are definitely interested that I talked to. John Hunt. He's a illustration major teacher.
The coolest teacher.
He's an adjunct professor, but he's also a working freelancer.
Yeah, like
in
a
the illustration
working
field.
freelance.
For probably what, good 20, 30 years almost, right?
Probably for a good credit. I mean, maybe like even like more than that.
And he's a
because,
jack of all trades
he's
too.
a really-
He does digital painting, he does traditional painting, he does comic books.
I mean, he do storyboards and he do like even like he has been like doing like a lot of like book covers. So like if you ever able to
sure.
chance to go to Barnes and Nobles, you'll see like one of his work on the book covers at least.
And then also I talked to, he's a student, Giovanni, we call him Gio. He's actually, I don't know if the club still exists, but the Cinema Guild, he's the president of that. And I think a quarter or two ago they did Cinefest. So I want to bring him in here to talk about Cinefest, how they put it together. I think it'd be a really awesome experience to learn about that, especially us being a club.
Especially us being
we
a
can
club.
learn from him.
Because,
about, hey, how did you guys put together such a huge freaking event?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I was thinking about Cinefest, the video club and our club is like like the direction that we go. Yeah, we all kind of like write stories and stuff like.
We're all content creators.
Yeah, but by the end of the day, and like comic book is all about like creating stories and panels and how does direction go, and that is somehow related to the video too, because as my comic do, like that's how I go with my comic. I actually put the like movie cinematic inside the comics. So yeah, that's
So one last announcement. May 21st, we will have a show at the Fort Lauderdale Comic Books. I'm not sure if it's so much a AI Stockpile show, but it's definitely a show that some of our members will be attending, will be participating in. One I know for sure will be Camille. And
Fantastic artist.
Yep.
yeah, she's a great
Fantastic.
illustrator, also graphic
designer. Yeah, she's already an art director. Yeah.
So yeah, Lauderdale Comics, located on US 1, just north of 595, just south of Southeast 17th Street. Definitely stop by in there, get some bubble tea, and as we get more details on that event, we'll let you know. All right, guys, thanks for joining us for another episode of AI Stockpile.
All right, guys, thank you for your patience. This is the longest podcast.
No, it's not. Actually, we have one longer. We have one longer.
Yeah, this
have
one's
one
not so
longer,
bad.
yeah.
This one's not so bad.
We're under
That's
30
not
minutes.
so bad at all. Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.